So have you ever wondered who anime designers have in mind when they make an anime? Well, Accel World is one of the only anime where I have absolutely no doubt who they're writing this anime for. This one is for every chubby gamer guy who wished that their skills in games would translate into them becoming a hero who gets the girl. Of course, anyone who is a gamer or someone who likes a solid underdog type anime can enjoy this one as well, but this is definitely the most targeted anime I've ever seen. Without a doubt, this one is a shout out to all the bullied gamer kids and leaves them with the message that they're valuable and give something meaningful to the world and can find true happiness. So with that in mind, let's talk details. Accel World is a 24-episode anime produced by Studio Sunrise in 2012. It's sourced from a light novel series which is still being produced as of today. In fact, as recently as last year, there was a movie continuing the series which I can't really cover as my Japanese is, well, hontou ni yokunai. So the story centers around Haruyuki, a chubby young fellow who is good at being bullied, playing online games, and having about the lowest self-esteem I've ever seen. The other major character is Kuro Yukihime, the student council vice president and a senpai of Haruyuki, who approaches him after learning of his skills at games and asks him to join her in Brainburst. From there, the story revolves around a fighting, gaming world and Haruyuki learning about this new world and becoming the best fighter ever. So what I thought was great about this story was the true path of development Haruyuki takes. He starts off this sad little lump of clay and is molded into a strong and confident warrior who believes he can become the best in the game for his senpai. So that being said, he does struggle through many issues and there are many tense moments and those truly make you feel attached to Haruyuki. And him riding the emotional waves really puts you on an emotional wave as well. I really enjoy how many things are not as they seem and how characters grow and evolve and switch sides over time because of how persistent and compassionate Haruyuki is. I also liked almost all the supplemental characters and found the struggle to become the best was compelling and done well. Now don't get me wrong, there are a few things I didn't like. The instant love affair between Kuro Yukihime and Haruyuki was mad at me. I really wanted them to have a great relationship, but there isn't much to go off of when you say I love you in episode 2. In general, Haruyuki's confidence in the game is awesome, but his lack of self-esteem in real life and his inability to progress into a reasonable romantic relationship is kind of frustrating given how episode 2 plays out. This is will they won't they, but in the really frustrating way. Also, most of the antagonists turned friend after defeat were good, but I thought the final antagonist was weak and the general sociopathic nature trope is overplayed to death and I just wasn't really feeling it. Finally, I want to mention the OVAs. I thought they were generally unnecessary, but not bad. I watched them both after the series, which I think was a bit of a mistake. The first one is definitely meant to fit in with the first season and had some really funny moments. Haruyuki's pig avatar with the dual Uzis and a recon helmet made me die laughing. The second OVA is definitely meant to fit in the series at the end and give a bit of detail into what happens next, with a slight hint at things that could come next and may be covered in the Infinite Burst movie. If you watch the series, I definitely suggest checking out the OVAs, though I would probably put OVA 1 between episodes 12 and 13 and OVA 2 at the absolute end. The art direction of this anime is one of the things that makes it unique. What you have in Accel World are 3 representations of each character. First you have their actual real-world appearance. In that regard, they're fairly typical, of course minus Haruyuki since you rarely see the star of an anime being a little chubby guy. In the digital world, each person has an avatar which they pick for themselves. This was very enlightening about who they thought they were. These avatars were unique and well thought out for each character. Finally, we have the Brainburst avatars, which are assigned via each character's subconscious and represent their hidden desires. I thought they were all unique and truly represented the characters and their insecurities and scars. I found it deep to compare the real person to their thoughts of themselves versus their subconscious actual thoughts of themselves. As far as the OST, it's good. It has some good fighting music, a few emotional tracks, but nothing really stood out for me, and I don't think there's many songs worth spiking out. So now finally, let's talk about the cast of characters. I think for the most part they were excellent. Each of the characters has deep personal and emotional struggles. The premise of the show is that your brain burst powers come from your own real-world scars. So basically the power you have compensates for real-world insecurities and painful memories. The concept makes for great character development. You essentially have each character with different pains and insecurities all coming together and helping each other and growing into a friendship. It also adds a sweet element to what could have been just a flat fighting anime. In particular, I thought that Haruyuki and his insecurities Chiyuri and her longing for the past, Kudo Yukihime and her failed ambitions, and finally Fuko and her acceptance of her limitations, each added a unique flair to the anime that made it stand out above others in the genre. Alright, so now it's time to answer that most important question: should you watch this anime? Alright, so the kind of people who would like this anime. Do you like a fighting anime with a unique and well-executed premise? Do you like technologically advanced societies and find it interesting to explore how a future with neural implants would work? Do you enjoy strong emotional moments and anime centered around characters with real problems who struggle to get over them? Right, so the kind of people who might not like this anime. Do you find the fighting genre played out and really don't relate to gaming? Are you looking for a deep plot with a strong resolution and dislike slightly fluffy anime? Do you dislike banal villains? Alright, so in summary, I thought Accel World was solid. The fighting scenes were done well, the characters were quite unique, and the premise was interesting as well. The development of the characters over time and the way the brain burst works made this one stand out in the genre. If you're a fan of action and fighting anime, or just a good story with solid characters, I recommend checking this one out. Well, that's pretty much it for me. As always, I'm your host Joe, and this is GBE Reviews. If you enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe and share with a friend. Thanks again, and Jane.
Oh, please don't let me die.